Hello, motherfuckers, and welcome back to the channel of Major Luck 92, the shaman of gaming. You might have to excuse me. I'm slightly tired. I just sort of, you know, just nodded off on the settee just before doing this commentary. But I haven't done a commentary in a while. The last video I did was obviously the Dark Souls one, and that was, you know, I think it was about a week and a half ago, was it? Something like that. But anyway, getting into this game. What I'm going to be talking about is why sort of bad games or bad sessions of games or even full days like I've had in the past, you know, bad games happen. Like what could the cause be? And you know, and if you're a good player, this can be like unbelievably frustrating. I'm not obviously putting myself in the top bracket. You know, even these guys, you know, these these gods of COD, you know, your Sandy Ravage, your Mark-J, your Ronaldinho, and then the sort of like MLG guys. Even these guys have bad games, you know, and you know, sometimes it'll just be because they come up against better players, which is, you know, one reason, but that's not really, you know, an interesting reason enough, because that's just too simple. One of the reasons why I think I have bad games sometimes is because, like, I don't know, I have a decent KD, and you know, in my last like 10 games, I think I've probably, you know, I've had so many games now in a row where I've not gone negative, and I've had like at least maybe a 2 KD in the game, 3 KD, that sort of thing. And I think one of the uplying causes when I do have bad games is tiredness, and I think this is probably quite a common theme for people who have bad games. And you know, if you're frustrated, maybe try think of this before you you know, before you start sort of getting mad. I mean, I get mad, I rage, whatever, but you know, there's probably underlying causes to why I have bad games when I do, and like I said, tiredness is one of them. If you're feeling tired, you know, you might not even feel it, but there'll be a difference in your reaction time, and it might be even, you know, slightly subtle. But when you know, when you're on the ball and you've maybe, you know, drunk a bit of coffee, or you know, you're just feeling up to it, you know, you'll be snapping on target, you'll be turning on people like, you know, like there's no tomorrow. When you're tired, that doesn't really happen, and like I said, it's a subtle change, so you don't really notice it, or you don't feel like you notice it a lot of the time. But that could be one of those underlying causes. The other is sort of leans more towards having a bad session or a bad day of games, you know, as opposed to just maybe one bad game and then you get back into your stride. And this is staying on the game when you shouldn't, when you really shouldn't. Like, I've learnt now to, you know, if things are going badly and I can feel myself, you know, getting hot, getting red or whatever, you know, just getting angry in general, I'll turn it off, because bad things happen. You know, destruction happens if I rage on this game. So that is another cause. So if you you know, maybe start off the day with a couple of, you know, bad games, and you don't feel confident or whatever, and this is sort of more, obviously this video is more leaning towards the people who are more serious about the stats, or you know, serious about the game in general. Oh, this is a complete awareness fail from this guy. I really have no idea what he was doing. He still hasn't noticed me. That is top level stuff. But yeah, that as soon as you feel yourself start to drop into that mode where you're doing things that you usually wouldn't, you're running around a lot, sprinting around corners, you know, and just doing the things that make you have a bad game in the first place, and you don't feel like that's going to change, then get off the game, go on something slow paced, maybe pick up an RPG, you know, that sort of thing. I don't mean pick up an RPG as I don't mean that as a rocket propelled grenade, and I mean, like, you know, a role playing game, something slow paced, take your mind off it, slow yourself down, maybe calm yourself down, hop on it a few hours, and you know, if it's still happening, just hop off it, leave it for, you know, a day, or whatever you feel like doing. The other one is, well, one of the other reasons is overconfidence. That leads you to, again, the same sort of thing with the, you know, when you're getting mad. It leads you to doing stuff that you usually wouldn't. When you're overconfident, you think everything's going to go your way. Sometimes it does, and sometimes that mode will come, you know, straight after you've just had a beast game when nothing went wrong, and you'll, you know, maybe whip out a weak weapon and excuse me, whip out a weak weapon and try and you know, try and do some work with it, and it goes horribly wrong. And I mean, I've had that a couple of times where I've been on a bit of a roll, you know, maybe had 10 games where bloody hell, can't get my breath. You know, where I've been on a roll and then I'm, you know, just sort of waltzing around, taking people up left and right, and I'll maybe, you know, put on an Uzi class and try and do the same, and I'll go negative. You know, it's just, it always leads to bad things happening. When you get overconfident and you're sprinting around, you're trying to rush spawn, you're trying to quick scope. You know, if that's not working for you, that's one of the things where you should really pull out of it straight away, unless you know, one of those guys who's making a montage and doesn't really care if they go massively negative. But if you want to have a really good game doing that, then if you start off quick scoping and it's going badly, just stop, because it won't pick up. You know, it's one of those things that you're either on point or you're not. And sort of one of the bigger things about, you know, reasons for having bad games is if you're a really top level player, it's like I said, all the top level players, they'll have bad games. Maybe, you know, it won't be as often as other people, but it's probably even more frustrating for those people because there doesn't seem to be any reason why they're having bad games. Like I said, maybe it's tiredness, maybe it's overconfidence, maybe it's, you know, it can be any number of things. I'm just trying to think of you know, some other reasons. I know that if I have a bad game, the main one that happens to me is I'll start badly and it gets to me too much. That's, I suppose, another thing. You know, like similar to saying if you start badly, you know, you have a bad game, then you should just turn it off. This is similar to that, but it's, you know, if I'm doing stuff that's contributing to my downfall, then getting mad is not the remedy to it. Staying calm, slowing your game down. If you don't want to come off the game, you know, like I said, maybe chill out and go on a slower paced game. If you don't want to do that, if you're determined to stay on, then slow your game down. Maybe try something else. Maybe try, you know, a different tactic. Go to the easy weapons to use if you feel that, you know, that's the only way you can have a good game. There's been plenty of times where I've been, you know, maybe using like this weapon, you know, the Olympia or something, trying to get a good game with the sort of weaker weapon, and it's been going horribly wrong, and I switched to a good weapon and it all goes fine. But, you know, sometimes it's just the way the game's, you know, like sort of gonna go, and you can't really change it unless, like I said, just hopping off the game. I was trying to think, you know, if you can think of any that you think, you know, that even reading the title of the video before you watched it, of reasons why you know, you could be having bad games, then, you know, leave a comment in the comment section, and maybe I'll try and throw up another video. You know, I was actually, what I was tempted to do in this video is put up a really bad gameplay, like one where I'd made mistakes, and I think what I'm gonna do is I will do that. I'll put up a game, you know, next time I have a bad game, I'll put up a video and see where I went wrong, analyze the mistakes I make, the decisions that I make. You know, that is another thing. Decision making is everything in Call of Duty games, in my opinion. You know, I've heard it said before, I'm not really sure who said it originally, but it's, you know, the skill on the stick is part of the game. Yeah, you'd be a better player if you know, you're just immaculate with a controller in hand, but you know, it's not the only thing that contributes to you being a really good player. You know, take for example the in like FIFA or something like that. There's like the trick buttons. You could be an absolute god at doing those skills, but it wouldn't make you a good player, because those skills and everything, they do take skill with a controller in your hand. You need to be fast, you need to press the right buttons, right time, timing, you know, all that sort of thing. And it's the same thing with COD. You need to, you know, if you can get your gun up, get your ADS on, and you know, pick somebody off so easily, then you know that'd make you a better player. But a lot of it's just map, you know, knowledge. Ah, love that direct impact. But yeah, no, map knowledge, you know, decision making, always making sure you have, you know, cover, you're in the correct position for the, you know, the gunfight that you're in. And you know, the skill on the stick is just one part of it, and that could be another thing. If you know, are making poor decisions, you know, one of the arguments, you know, about playing the objective, it's like in this game, I don't get very many captures, I don't get very many defends, but I'm in positions where I'm defending the flags from, you know, a different position as opposed to just sitting on the flag. Because people think, you know, maybe playing the objective is going jumping on the B flag, jumping on the B flag, jumping on the B flag. I don't want to do that. I want, you know, a YouTubeable game, if I can use that term. But, you know, still maybe play the objective. I feel I did it in this. That's a poor decision. That is one thing, you know, downfall. That is an awful decision. And look at this for an ending to the game. That is unbelievable. I got Treyarch. But anyway, if you like the video, you know, give it a thumbs up and you know, leave some ideas as to why you think other people have bad games, you know. And be sure to have a look at that. So cheers, that's the end of the video. Thanks, bye.